But it is 5:15 on November 3rd, 2025. Call the select board meeting to order. Are there any adjustments to the agenda? Hearing none. Approve bills. We got the 2025 November 3rd warrant. We have a financial snapshot.
I'll make a motion to approve the November 3rd warrant.
We have a motion by Harry to approve the warrant. All right, who wants to have that one?
Joe can have it.
All right, Joe can have that one. Got that, Corinne? All right. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. That way. Hey. Cool. You'll be the last there, Joe. Excuse me. Any discussion on the financial snapshot?
I don't have any.
Hearing none. Thank you, Lisa, there for providing that. I do. I do want to say, I'm always very impressed there with the interest earned. I love that. So, there's a grip here. Okay, moving on. A little time there for public comment. To take up at future select board meetings, is there any public comment?
Well,
Tracy,
we have all our winter sand falls, misses and filed up. That's done now. We put up about 300 yards this year, so we had some like, I'm guessing 700 yards of inventories. I thought this would be to start raining, big levels up, we're gonna get.
And that's at the state garage, right?
That's it.
Yeah.
Yes, we should have more than enough to tackle.
have we had any issues up on the north end? With the beavers?
No, we cleaned out the boat just the other day and that got stolen further back there. Well, we'll check on that this week and with all the rain and. We got a few trees that need addressing, but I think for some other quotes come in before I present that to you. And we're gonna try to get them all done for the last time, hopefully one last time this year or this week.
Okay, could you speak up a little so people can hear you
Sure.
better?
Trying to get the mowing done one last time for this week. Get that done, winterize, put that away. And some general maintenance on a few other things that we have going on.
Okay. All right, okay, thank you. Any other questions there for Tracy?
No, thank you.
Okay, moving on. Radar speed signs. Approval to purchase. Did we have any other correspondence with that outfit, Corinne?
The person we received the quote from,
Yes,
So, no, the last time we met, we were going to reach out to the sheriff to confirm whether or not we wanted the data. And I was gonna reach out to Vermont Local Roads to see if it confirms the. They have a recommendation. And then if we still wanted to proceed. Oh, and you also asked me to confirm whether or not the flash was MUTCD standard.
and I
So,
saw your note.
yeah, so we can't have the flash.
South Zero has it,
Well, I mean. And if,
so I don't,
I don't,
like I said, there is a switch on that. That is for the MUTCD.
well, I didn't want us to pay extra if it's something that can't be.
Right,
If we went with that model,
was it TC 600 or something like that, the solar?
Yep.
Um,
I did not hear back from Vermont Local Roads. I sent a follow-up email. But Carl, we decided to put this on the agenda because you had correspondence with, the sheriff.
correct, and my question was, I spoke with Ray. Or Sheriff Allen, and he said that, the data would help them out quite a bit. So that they can see where the problem hours lie. So, I mean, I don't think that we have to necessarily make a decision on this right now as far as purchase goes. That's up to the board here to decide, but I mean, I don't foresee these things being installed until spring anyway.
Well, and what I meant, I guess by, and I am not saying you should do this tonight at all, but the approval to purchase terminology is to keep the workflow process, not necessarily to actually buy them. Because, we reached out to Northwest Regional Planning to do the speed study. They would not do the speed study until they had assurances we were actually going to purchase them. So if we were gonna wait for a grant, if we were gonna, they didn't wanna come and invest and do the work until we knew this was gonna happen. So I don't know, and if we're not at that point, that's fine. But, we're kind of at a point where we either, I think, need to decide to move forward on our own or to table it and come back around when the grants are ready, which would be early spring.
Well, what's the board's pleasure?
Well, would there be any advantage to do a approval to purchase, but not purchase them? So that we have that and we can, answer some other questions or, if we have the approval. And then put off till spring to actually buy them.
Yeah, I think,
And then we don't have to deal with it. Well, we would, but whatever, questions come up, we would have to deal with it.
yeah.
But I'm just wondering if having that approval would help the process.
I think it could. I think that if I had that approval, I could reach out to Northwest Region, and if they're comfortable, I could move ahead. What I would want to confirm before we did that is whether or not their work would qualify if they waited to do any spring grants. Or if, because I don't understand the timing of when it has to be done relative to the 1111 permit.
Now, are they sending out just a viewer?
Northwest Regional Planning?
Yeah.
I have no idea how they're gonna do it.
Well, because that could be a little bit iffy. We don't have unless they want to be here at 5 o'clock in the morning. The rest of the day there, it's probably not all that bad.
I seem to recall when we did the last traffic study that the state wanted it to be done during the summertime. Because that's when most of the traffic occurs. When we've got summer residents here and, full occupancy in terms of, the tourist population. So I don't know if that's a component of what Northwest Regional Planning will need to seek confirmation about before they begin their own traffic study. But I think at this point, if all we need to do is work out the details, and if Northwest Regional Planning is looking for confirmation that we are going to ultimately move forward with getting the signs installed, I would be comfortable making a motion. Why don't I just make a motion? I'll make a motion that we approve the purchase of the radar speed signs. And that we make an application or see if we can qualify for the spring grant cycle. And in the event that we do not qualify or are not awarded a grant in the spring grant cycle, that we purchase the radar speed signs using our own funds.
So leaving it in this year's expenses, and this fiscal year's expenses,
Yep. And that, you know, we've budgeted for it. That we will use the money if we need to, but that we will make an attempt to see if we can qualify for a grant in the spring grant cycle. So that we can confirm with Northwest Regional Planning that it will be purchased either using our money or grant monies.
Corinne, did you get that whole motion? Okay. All right, we have a motion. We have a second.
I will second.
Tim seconds. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. Make sure we read the minutes very well.
And Lisa, that's, we can approve but not authorize, is that,
Yeah, sure.
okay, we'll say.
All right, moving on to appropriations, so we have, well, we have one here from Voices Against Violence, a request for $2,000. We have one there from the Friends of Northern Lake Champlain for $1,000. And then we also have this review the draft appropriation policy.
As is our practice. Under our current policy, we'll make a motion that the Voices Against Violence requests and the Friends of Northern Lake Champlain requests are included in the warning.
Okay, we have a motion. We have a second.
I have a question. Last year it was 1,500, I think, and this year they're going to for 2,000. Is that good? You don't-
That'll actually be a,
Because it's an increase, it'll have to go on the ballot.
right,
And you have two choices here, because they're late. The appropriation policy says they have to be submitted for review by the second meeting in October.
Oh,
And both of these
Thank you,
people
Corinne.
missed that deadline. I told them that, you know, it's still within your purview, because it also said to review those that were denied at your second meeting in November. That I just said I'd submit them for your purview, but I told them not to get their hopes up, because typically you.
yeah,
really
I forgot about our deadline. I'm gonna retract my motion. And I will make a motion that because these have not been timely filed, that they are denied.
there we have a motion. Joe seconds. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
I will,
Opposed? Please let them know.
and then but I'll also let them know for our policy that they still have time to do the petition.
Do a petition, that's correct. So. Okay. And in front of us here, we have the review of a draft appropriation policy. So This is just going down here, letting everybody know there that they can file a petition with 5%. Of the signatures collected. On the treasurer's end of it, payments at or under $5,000 would be paid in full in September of each year. Payments over 5,000 will be paid quarterly in September, December, March, and June of each year. And of course, payment is subject to the availability of funds.
So this is a very draft policy, like, I took a VLCT template, incorporated some elements of our old policy, and then, because on our last discussion that we wanted to begin with a petition process, that's been added in here. If we have two ways, two things to decide, if we like this current verbiage, and if not, what changes we might want, and then two, if we wanted to have any type of, a section added that would allow entities that, once they've been approved by a petition process, that in the future, they can go for select board review, which is really kind of the part that makes the whole thing complicated.
So with the adoption of this, we're basically looking at there that next year. Everybody would have a petition that's requesting funds.
Indefinitely,
Yeah.
like every year,
Yeah.
so, yeah.
And
Go ahead, Tim.
on that list, all of those organizations are considered social service organizations?
No,
Okay,
and that was one of the things that actually also surprised me. Was that the definition and statute of who can receive an appropriation is more narrow than I thought and is contemplated in our current policy. Yeah, I mean, it's a social service agency is those that provide nutrition, childcare, medical care, and other rehabilitative services to low-income senior citizens, children, disabled, drug and alcohol abusers. That would be an
yeah,
interesting,
because under that definition, I was just thinking, well, would PBRA fit under there? Would the fire, would the auxiliary, would the historical society? Okay.
so I am open to changes.
Well. Anybody have any feelings on this?
I would like to, since traditionally we've given to non-social service. Organizations, I'd like to keep it open to those organizations. I like that the town supports.
Yeah.
Various entities.
And I can definitely take this and wordsmith it to,
That's my
Would you-
opinion. I don't know what
I
other
mean-
people,
would you prefer that if you don't meet the statutory definition of a social service agency, that you must be a North Hero organization?
an organization that serves North Hero.
Well, because exactly, then you get into defining, we'd have to have a
Okay.
definition. And I'd again be willing to look around and see if there are other examples and kind of wordsmith that and bring it back to you.
Well, I definitely think there to be, if it is a North Hero organization that, that we can include that.
The easier thing would be a North Hero 501c3.
Where-
But if you wanted it to be a 501c3 that serves North Hero, that would get a little more gray, but it would be like the food
Yeah.
shop.
Well, I'm thinking of like the home health stuff. That's not a,
Well, those are both, actually the food shelf and the home health, those are both social service. So
oh, okay.
that would
Okay.
meet this, anybody,
Right.
So it would be a slash social service, North
Yeah.
Hero. Okay,
yeah.
okay.
I think it is worth it to try and expand the definition of a little bit as well.
Yeah,
So if we can include. We can include organizations or 501(c)(3)s that. That provide,
Direct benefit to North Hero.
yeah, provide a direct benefit to the town of North Hero or something along those lines. Or advance. You know. You name it. What are we? We've had a lot of. Man, right? If this is a water quality issue. The town plan has. In its own definition. An emphasis on protecting water quality. We've got a definition in our town plan that, or we've got another component of the town plan that seeks to protect the rural character of our community. Right, and there are service entities that are out there, very few of which are actually based in North Hero, right? That are likely going to be able to provide ancillary services to North Hero organizations and taxpayers that can kind of backfill some of these projects. So, maybe we can maybe to ease the definition a little bit, you could say, or, provide services in North Hero that align with the town's priorities, making specific reference to the town plan.
Okay.
Right, because we have a defining document there that fairly clearly lays out, the important components of what we as a municipality want to focus our efforts on preserving.
All right, that'll be a future.
Yep, have my marching orders.
Okay. Moving on, VOSHA, project work safe scheduled for December 1st, 2025. And then we have a VOSHA signed closing statement.
Thank you to everyone who jumped immediately on this and get it resolved.
Yes. And much as I have said there that I would like to put my feelings in writing here to VOSHA. Not due to the fact now that hopefully we have work safe in place and that we won't have any issues down the road. Does anything have to be signed by us again, Corinne? No.
Since you've scheduled big visit and things you might have in our calendars.
Okay.
Follow up with that, because they'll probably give us a full list of things to do. Winter projects, block out, tag out.
Okay. 2026 projects, discussion of town projects, the timelines and town office workload. Who would like to lead that one off?
Take that one. I initiated this conversation with Carl because in doing the department budget review for the town office, it became really clear that we are going to have to be very careful in planning time management for 2026. We have 3 major construction projects all overlapping for a time period. We'll be finishing up the storage tank, just getting going on the water line, all while we're fast and furious. Don has been great at keeping us at a good pace with the North Station project, and we have 3 elections next year. And there are other various grants that are not typical for North Hero moving along with the PLS restoration. finishing up brick. I have another opportunity here. And just next year's gonna be tough. So in thinking about this, I was trying to think of ways that we could, in the short term, relieve some of that pressure. And we looked seriously at what it would take to outsource payroll. It did not end up in the end being a solution that we felt justified the time to put it in place and the cost. But, and having all these discussions, I thought it would be good to bring it just to the general awareness of the whole board. This is gonna be a hard year. As you already know, we've had so many special meetings this year. It just feels like things. I like looking at the CIP and looking ahead 2 years when you see the column where we spend 0.
Well, we're all still here, so.
Yeah, no, so this is a great team for this, but I think it will help us. If you all know, if anything, just to help with guardrails, like this next opportunity I'm gonna bring to you for a grant might not be a great opportunity and since it's over the edge, but just tongue in cheek. But you might be able to help us manage and, or just second set of eyes, if you're in conversation with other board members and you know, that might not be a good year to start that project, kind of thing.
Okay.
And if you have any other ideas, either of you have any ideas. Wait.
Okay.
All right.
All right, anything else?
No, I will let you know if I have ideas.
Okay. We're on. So now, Corinne, you can let us know here on IT, state and local cybersecurity grant program opportunities.
So the state of Vermont is working with the federal government to bring some cybersecurity opportunities to state and local governments. What they've done, the state has assigned a group to basically coordinate this grant that the federal government is offering. And in trying to decide how to offer it most efficiently in a way that they can easily distribute and then project manage the actual work. They've decided to allow municipalities to sign up to receive 3 things. Basically, enable your town to enroll in multi-factor authentication, enable your town to transition to a .gov platform. We've been trying to do for about 5 years. Well, we've been thinking of it. But, and then, there's a training opportunity that is a little interesting. I don't fully understand, but they, are offering these 100% funded. The only match is staff time, and they've been very clear there will be staff time required for these. I'm really interested in all 3. So we have multi-factor authentication enabled on some things and not other things, and it's not standardized across the town. I think that, and now that we have Microsoft as a platform, it would be fairly easy to unroll. I think this grant can help us make it systemized. I'm really interested in the .gov because we've already signed up for and approved to have a .gov platform. But the transitioning of the emails would be very expensive through our current IT provider. So this would be an opportunity to get that done. And training's never a bad thing. This would be, you know, we as a town are already have all the employees enrolled and know before, and they have monthly assignments to do that cybersecurity. This would be training for a specific person in your town who kind of heads up your IT to go and to have a more in-depth course on ways to just have a full package of cybersecurity awareness for your organization. So it's a good opportunity. I told them I'm interested. They have Carl's contact as the person to reach out to. I do think we need to be careful about staff time allotments in the next year. But
Well, this is I take it we're tier 1. So it's a approximately $1,500 annual
So that's-
membership. Well, that's different.
That's different. Yep,
Okay,
It's already paid for, right? I mean, that,
yes.
yeah.
So that I understand a lot less. The whole, the grant program, I took a webinar on, and it basically was what I just told you. This, multi-state information sharing and analysis center. We were already members. The, Secretary of State's office recommended that if you ran elections and you had a website, that you enroll in this. And so I did. It was free. And I had a brief, when I did enroll, it was a little over a year ago. At that point, it was free. It was funded by the federal government, and they recently lost their funding, which is what's spurring this whole what you see in front of you. They've had to switch to a paid program, and then the state of Vermont has decided that they want all of their municipalities, especially if they run elections and have a website, to stay in this program. And so they've offered to pay for it. But I have to be authorized to enroll in it now, probably because it's a cost platform. So I recommend we do it just because we were, state of Vermont wants us to, based on security around elections. And the year I had it, I've never used it. I was never quite understood, it was probably because I never have time to dive into it, how it relates to elections, but, if it's being offered free, the state of Vermont thinks it's really important, and I think we should just do it. But I need to be authorized.
so it's not a membership?
It is a membership, but the state of Vermont's paying it.
So we disregard this $1,500 bucks.
Disregard that. I am not asking for any money.
I'll make a motion that we continue our membership in the CIS MS ISAC organization.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Claire seconds. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
I,
Aye. Those opposed? Motion carried.
When you say staff time, what does that mean? Is it so much a week, so much a one-time thing?
No, it's a project base, and I don't know yet. Yeah, I think it would depend on what we enroll in, so if we decide to do all three, you know,
Same time.
or I don't know. Yeah.
It's all the weekend work,
Weekend work?
yeah.
We already do that. Yeah,
You're fine.
yeah. Well,
Okay, moving on. Treasurer review, revenue review and department budgets, taking a stab at it, right?
Take a stab at it. So we have received everything but public works for budgets from all the different departments. You're not due to us. You're over. So what's in here is what we've received from all the different departments. And I'll give you some highlights. We don't have some actuals, like Northwest Region. Northwest Solid Waste District dues, so if we do have the VLCT dues, so I put actual there, we've received that. So. Tried to make notes, you know, the interest we reduced because of the lower interest rates. So those lines all came down a little bit. We talked about the listers reappraisal fund going up to 25,000. The planning commission is asking for an extra $2,000 for their share of that. There's some planning grant that was approved.
So Lisa, you wanna, before people get right down to the bottom there and they see that increase.
So it includes
So-
the
Yeah, what we had discussed,
financing of the.
right, of the
So
bond.
when you get to the bottom and you see that there is a $312,000 increase of 32%, it includes the financing of the bond for the fire station. The public works garage, so I divided what, and I just went based on the amortization schedules that we used for the numbers, so. They're not exact, but it's just to put a number in there. We will have an interest only payment due in May of this year. Next year, 2026. Prorated from the time we get the funds in March to May, and then we'll have our first principal and interest payment due in November. In 2026. So this under debt and capital funding is the first bond and principal payment for the fire station. And then in the public works budget, you'll see the piece for the garage. So I took the total amount and did 2/3 for the fire station, 1/3 for the garage. We're not quite sure where that's all gonna fall, but that's just to get some numbers in there and some space holders. So if you take out that funding, it's a 4% increase over the previous year.
That's what I wanted to hear.
We're not done.
Making-
We're not done.
Well, I think they're for taking a
So,
initial stab at this there, I think. It's looking pretty good. I mean, we know that Public Works is, we'll be working on that one. There will be an increase there.
So the sheriff department, we haven't heard from the sheriff department yet, so I just bumped it up 4%. There is, again, this year, we had included them last year for the new fire station, the maintenance, water, electric, propane, insurance. The question was, I brought up is, did we include only a half year last year, or was it a full year? I think it was a full year.
I think it was a full
I
year.
think it was a full year.
Yeah.
So I just carried those numbers over.
I'm pretty sure we did a full year because we knew that it wasn't gonna be up by July 1st,
Yeah.
so.
So I think they were a full year, so I just moved those numbers, I just carried them over. The county tax, we don't know yet, we usually find that out until December. The special projects, Claire and I talked about, if the radar signs were gonna be put off until after June 30th, that they would fall under that line. It's a one-time special project under the general expenses. So if you're thinking of pushing that off till July 1st, you wanna add that there.
Okay,
Okay.
And then we took out the $10,000 appropriation that we had been putting into the renovation fund for our stations. There's something I missed.
yeah, so under the general office operations, the assistant for, bumping it up to 20 hours a week. Is that what you were talking about? Is that finance that you were talking about, Corinne?
It will definitely help, but this is part of the restructure plan that we outlined, where we start at 10, go to 15, and then 20 hours. So I had that in there. Before I began thinking about the time crunch, but it will definitely.
And then the other was the professional services. So the actual for 25 was 62, and then it went in our budgeting last year, which was 42. Now it's back up 72. Is that what you're finding, is that it really should be that high?
No, we had some issues with, I'm not as good as I should be, at, expensing my, expenses. And so I think we missed a couple lines. Which I don't really like, if you look at, and well, they're not in here, but if you look at the codes of service contracts and professional services. It's in the same, they're the same code, so I'm not really sure why we have two line items. But I didn't wanna. I'm trying not to make extra work now. So we had something that I had budgeted to go into. well, I can't see the columns in what I'm looking at, but it's the big ones. But something I budgeted to go in one of these went into the other. And,
So budget year 2025 was 6,500 for professional services and 5,600 for service contract. And the actual was 62 for professional services and 61 for service contracts. So they were pretty much in line to what we budgeted. And I'm not sure why they went down last year. I don't remember.
well, I'm thinking of something different. Yeah, so I guess I think I'm, no, I mean, I can pull up what I know what goes in professional services. Let me pull up my spreadsheet that's broke down, but. It's not a lot. It's like the contract for our reporting software. Um.
Well, so we have an increase and we have a decrease. Between the two.
No one's noticed the big one in there yet. No, the under a general office. Oh, yeah, it's an under equipment, yeah.
Yeah, it's an equipment.
So while I was at that. Under the library revenue, property tax allocations. Went up $10,000. And I was wondering. What? And then under landscaping. Maybe you can answer this, under landscaping, I went up considerably, and that was for the expansion around the gazebo. Shouldn't that come out of the capital fund? Out of the library capital fund?
Even library expenses now.
Yeah, it's a
Oh,
separate.
I see, out of the library building.
Anyway. A library,
I'm not, I'm not library building.
no, okay. Oh, I tell you, this is a separate sheet.
You notice that when I was going through, yeah.
This one.
I've got a question here on general office equipment. So you have in there the copier, postage machine, fire cleaning, file cabinet, zoning.
Yeah.
Is that a brand new copier or is it? This is just projected there.
Nope, I can tell you what it is. We need 2 new fireproof legal size file cabinets for zoning records, and they're $4,200 each.
Oh,
So I budgeted 1 for this year, and then we'll see what we can do, if we can push off for a few more years on another one. But we are definitely scratched for space.
Okay,
We've got lots of zoning.
okay.
that's a requirement, I take it.
Unless we want to expand the vault.
I would prefer not to.
But yeah, they're considered a permanent record, so they need
Yeah.
fires or pollutions or.
All right,
Side off, I'm fine with that.
well, I mean, just initial go around there, I mean. Well, the total operations there, you've been able to keep it at 2.29% increase.
Which is less than the CPI, so it's commendable.
Right. So,
So your earlier question, did you want to know what was included in professional services? I pulled up my sheet.
well, unless it's against the law.
Oh, gosh. So
Um,
Avenue, that we've paid them $3,700 a year for our land recording software. Nemrick, we pay $900 a year for the office users that have cloud access to the for municipal software. We have $400 for the annual inspection of the fire suppression system in the vault. We have $1,000 for ballot programming, and we have $1,200 for Acrisure. Which should probably go in the general expenses because it's all employees, but anyway, it's there. And I have $50 in fees. That would be like when we go and get, sometimes we need, what do they call them, go to the post office, get the,
Money orders?
yeah,
That's under bank fees.
you have that all under already, so.
Yeah.
Maybe I can take that. But then- So that's professional services. Yeah. I don't have any notes for service contracts. And again. I wonder if I did move everything into professional services, because I keep getting confused by it. I'll follow up on that.
We'll look at that, yep.
Yeah.
The library meets on Thursday, if there's something you want me to take back to them.
Are you gonna be at their meeting? The library on Thursday?
Just looking at, yes, I will go and find that out.
Cemetery. I asked Frank why the revenues were higher than the expenses, only by $190, but he said we could change the property tax allocation. So that evens that out. They actually have a 15% decrease. There's the.
I take it on the library, the fuel and propane there, that increases because of the shed.
I don't think, does it have heat?
I don't know, I think
I think you should.
there isn't any heat in there. So. For budgeted actual. So, okay, so they were low, all right. No big deal.
Roberta took like a 5-year,
Yeah,
what has been spent in the last 5 years. Really not.
okay. Okay,
The,
Any-
sorry.
no, go ahead there, Cliff.
Sticking with the library. The computer management services, does that include their interlibrary loans and all of that? You know? Because I don't know.
The managed services is their VC3 expenses, so they have a firewall, they have all of that stuff through VC3.
They have a lot of computers.
They do.
We have signage. The signs for the entrance ways. I guess we're gonna spend in next year's budget. Right, so they should go into a special project. line?
Yes,
Yes,
I think so.
I'll add the $3,500, so.
Okay, anything further on this for the initial review?
Not for me.
So next time we'll have those questions answered and also public works.
Public work? In 2 weeks.
Which should be some.
And Tracy, just go ahead and give me a shout.
Yeah.
Only if you want. Okay. Well, Fire station and public works. Project. The builder's risk. So Corinne, we had lots of discussion around this, right?
I just wanted to let the board know that the town's gonna need a builder's risk insurance policy. I don't have any more information, I just,
And that'll pretty much be set by the time that the bids come in there, whatever, and the architect will kind of advise along that route, correct?
I did not understand a lot of what transpired in the recent email exchange about, who and how we would determine insurance rates that we were gonna require the builders to provide. And that's really what was at question. VLCT provided some of that for us. They refused to reply all of it. The architect sent a 6-page document that they wanted completed. And our insurance carrier said, we don't know the project well enough. We can't tell you these numbers. I don't know why the architect isn't telling us these numbers, and Dawn was very silent in that conversation. But what we took out of that was that the town will need to also, as well as what we are requiring from our construction company to purchase, we will want to purchase the builder's risk insurance policy. She was unequivocal about that. This would be the insurance underwriter from Vermont League of Cities and Towns. And she connected me with a recommendation. I reached out to them. They connected with me today. We haven't had a chance to talk specifics. These LCT said you want this in place 60 days before you start construction typically. So we'll need to be coordinating with Don as to when he gives people the green light. not just for that, but also for. But, you know, to manage the flow of money. But, the bid solicitation went out today.
Yep.
Okay.
And we apparently have up to 7 bidders right now that are interested.
Good.
So we'll see how that pans out, you know. So. Let's see, approve AES, that's done. That was what we voted on last time. I went ahead and signed it, and that was the $2,500 there for them to do the
Mhm.
bid contract. Bond vote opinion letter.
Let's just so you know what happened. We have 30 days after the election, I have to, we have to know. The documents that I have to certify, and he issues a letter that basically says to the Vermont Bond Bank that we can. They're allowed.
Yeah.
To have a bond.
Okay, so that. And the bid advertisement is done. Okay, and then we received correspondence. Thank yous there from the food shelf, from Whalen Arts. And perhaps the VA. Okay, I did read it. Visually impaired and blind. Visually. Let me read it here.
Vermont Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
There we go. Thank you, Harry. You may want to let them know that Pete has not been our town clerk here for a real long time.
And it's only $100.
So, yes,
They haven't raised their rates in its people, so.
that's good.
Yeah.
So maybe we want to just keep it as Pete. All right,
Make a motion to adjourn.
Harry makes a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Joe seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. We are adjourned at 6:12 PM.
And in the meeting, there's a separate login for. Gary.